Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn 2.5 The Happy Prince. See the lesson. The statue of the Happy Prince stood high above the city. It was covered with gold. Its eyes were bright blue jewels, and a red jewel hung from its waist. Everyone thought that it was very beautiful. Why aren't you like the Happy Prince? Mother said to their little boys when they cried. Sad man looked at the statue and said, I am glad that someone in the world is happy. One night, a little swallow flew alone over the city. His friends had gone away, but he had stayed behind for 6 weeks. 6 weeks means around 1.5 months. Where can I stay tonight? He thought. Then he saw the statue. I will stay there. He thought. It is high up, so there is plenty of fresh air. So Bird thought that the place is suitable for him. He can have a fresh air also. He landed between the feet of the Happy Prince and said, I have a golden bedroom. He thought, but as he put his head under his wing, a large drop of water fell on him. So as soon as the bird tried to sleep there, he had a large drop of water on him. He looked up and said, that is very strange. That's very odd. It's very different. There are no clouds in the sky, but it is raining. Then another drop fell, and the bird said, I cannot stay on a statue that does not keep me dry. And the bird decided not to stay there, because though the statue was looking so good, but it is unable to keep the bird dry. Then another drop fell, and he thought that it is unable to keep me dry. He thought, I must find another place, and he decided to fly away. But as he opened his wings, a third drop fell. He looked up and saw and exclaimed, Ah! What did he see? The eyes of the Happy Prince were full of tears. Tears rolled down his golden face. The face was very beautiful in the moonlight, and the swallow felt sorry for him. So the bird asked him, Who are you? And he got the reply, I am the Happy Prince. See that though definite article is used before common noun, though before common noun Happy Prince, it shows that if the story is about a particular prince. Then why are you crying? I am wet with your tears. The bird asked him, Why are you crying? Because of your crying, I have become wet. Then the prince said, When I was alive, I had a heart like every other man, but I did not know what tears were. I lived in a palace where there was no sadness. In the daytime, I played with my friends in a beautiful garden, and in the evening, I danced. There was a high wall round the garden, but I did not know what lay on the other side. So I was called the Happy Prince. I was pleased with my little world. Now I am dead, and they have put me up here. I can see all the unhappiness of my city. My heart now is made up of a cheap metal, but even that poor heart can feel, and so I cry. The prince told the bird, when he was alive, he led a very luxurious life. During the day, the prince used to play with his friends. In the evening, the prince danced, and there was a high wall round the garden. Because of that, the prince was unable to see what was outside the walls. So he was unaware about the unhappiness, about the sorrow, about the sadness. So the prince was so happy, and that is the reason the prince was called the happy prince. But when the prince was dead, they have put the prince up here. And so the prince continued and said, I can see all the unhappiness of my city now. My heart is now made up of a cheap metal. But even that poor heart can feel, and that is why I am crying. Oh, said the swallow to himself, he is not only gold on the outside. As a reaction, the swallow bird said, oh, it's surprising, it's amazing that the statue is not only gold from outside, but from inside also. His heart, his mind is so gentle. The bird realized that the prince was kind, merciful, and the happy prince said, far away from here, there is a poor house in a little street. Through an open window, I can see a woman at a table. Her face is very thin and she has rough red hands. She is making a dress for one of the queen's ladies for a dance in the palace. Her little boy is lying on a bed in the corner of the room. He is very ill. He is crying because she can only give him water from the river. Little bird, will you take my red jewel to her? I cannot move from here. The prince continued and said to the swallow bird that the prince is able to see that there is a woman who is very poor living in a small room. She has rough red hands because of hard work, and she is making a dress for one of the queen's ladies so that the lady will wear the dress while dancing in the palace. And that lady's little boy is lying on a bed in the corner of the room, and that boy is very ill. That boy is not keeping well. He is crying because she can only give him water from the river. So the bird requested the little bird to take one red jewel to her, and because what is the reason why did the statue requested the swallow? Because he said that I cannot move from here. So the bird replied, my friends are waiting for me in Egypt. So the bird was not eager to go and help the woman. So today we have seen up to this. We will see the remaining part later. Thank you.